there, YouTubers. All right, so power supply calculators. There's quite a few out there that you can use. I'm going to take a look at one of them specifically today. But just, Googling it, you'll see a lot of choices out there. I have my preferred favorite. It's one thing you want to do, obviously, when you're out there. If you're buying a new graphics card or even an older one, some of the old ones like the GTX 780s, the GTX 970s, they require a lot of power. And so I always go in and see what the minimum recommended power supply is. So let's just, for the sake of walking this through like we were going to, okay, so up here it says 500 watt minimum. If you're doing SLI, it's another story, but 500 watt minimum. And most of the time people suggest a little bit more than that. But let's see what the calculators say. And I personally have used the GTX 970 with either 500, 600, 650, 680, 700, any one of those, and it's been pretty good. But it all depends on your peripherals. So we're going to use Newegg here shortly, but Newegg's very simple. I think part of the reason why I like it because I'm a simple person, if you know the channel. MSI has one here. This one honestly doesn't look too bad. Might actually be even simpler. And then I was looking at another one here, the Seasonic one. You would think they make power supplies, so theirs would be really good. And I don't know if we have time, which we probably do because I'm recording here, but I might go back and see what this one says for a given power supply. Okay, so I think what we'll put in here is we're going to put an i5 9600K in. And I have probably 20 motherboards to pick from. We'll figure one out. Maybe a Gigabyte Aorus gaming one. That usually has all the pretty little lights on it, right? So probably sucks up a little more power. GPU, we'll use the GTX 970. Obviously, we could put something more modern in, and we definitely have more modern GPUs here. But right now, I'm actually looking at slapping one together with that in it. So RAM, and I usually do at least 16 gigs of RAM. A lot of these computers have 20 plus. So solid state drives, minimum of 1M.2 NVMe, and then a hard drive for storage. So that's kind of the minimum these days. And I don't even put optical drives in the computers at the time. So more than half time. So let's go ahead and start this. So we'll go with Intel. God, it's been a long time since I've built an AMD computer. And then we will put a i5 9600K in, which has a little more TDP. Oh, there's multiples in here. Interesting. Well, I know I have one of these. And then motherboard. So we've got ATX motherboard. It doesn't give you the option of selecting different motherboards. So this one might not be as good as, say, the Seasonic one, which I think gives you some options to put some other things in there. GPU, go with NVIDIA, and put the old 970 in there. We got one of those. Random access memory. This is interesting. Got 32. There's no 16 gig stick, so we'll have to come over here and make two of those. You can just see what I really like about this is it's just building. So right now, if I stop right now, I could use my EVGA 400 watt possibly. Now, the negative about this, it doesn't talk anything about efficiencies, any other aspects. So And basically, you see that note there. The PSU wattage we recommend only gives you a general idea of what to consider when selecting a power supply. PCI cards, external devices, USB, FireWire device, cooling fans, other components may need more power. So here is one negative to using this site, right? We have this awesome gaming computer. We do not necessarily have anywhere to input all of those pretty little fans that we're going to have and the pretty little light strips, right? So that's kind of a negative. And I am right now building a Deep Cool Matrix 55 that's got all kinds of pretty lights and fans on it. So this one might not work out so good for me. All right, moving on. Solid state drive. So surprisingly, this is measured by the storage. And we're going to put a 512 in there. I could actually put 2 in there because the motherboard will support that, but we'll just put the 512. In a hard drive, yeah, we want 7200 RPM, one of those, and nothing there. So you see right there, 406 watts. Now, the 400 watt is, not going to work for this, according to this, and you want to have some buffer there. So 500 watts is probably pretty good for this build. 450 maybe. So that one works out okay. Let's jump over to, does MSI have more stuff to put in here? They've got some fans in here. And then we've got the Seasonic. So I already started messing with the Seasonic. Let's finish this up. Motherboard, desktop, Intel. And then put the wrong processor in. There's the right one. Okay, that did change. That's why. Okay, so we've got that. We don't have any additional PCI cards. It has Wi-Fi though. I wonder if that will matter. So RAM, we'll put 2 gigs of RAM in here. This one doesn't do it on the fly. You have to keep hitting the calculate button. So this one is actually coming out higher. We've got the video card in. We don't have a second card, like I said. We do have the M2 SATA, so that's covered. Now fans, we've got we're going to have about 4 fans in here, okay? Sorry. Yeah, I think we can have 3 of those. And we can have probably 2 of the smaller ones. Let's go with that number. So I think we can have up to 5 fans. We don't have a liquid cooling kit. It's not going to be used 8 hours per day. More like 4 hours. Keyboard, mouse, yes. Other devices. What do we have here? LED strip. So the case has LED light strip on it. I don't know which one's more accurate. So maybe we fan controller bay. So you see there's a lot more things on here that one could use. I think we're going to go ahead and say yes, we have a fan strip. And then we're going to calculate. All right, so you see right there, we have a difference between Newegg and the Seasonic 394 and the PSU wattage. So I can tell you this, folks. I have used the GTX 970 with a 400 and maybe even a 450 watt just for the hell of it. And it basically restarted itself running a benchmark. So when that happens, when your computer just blacks out like that and restarts, usually it means you don't have enough power. And so once you switch it out with a higher power supply, you see that problem go away. So I can tell you that though both of them recommended higher than 400, this one is probably closer to being more accurate for you. Now the other one, the MSI, might as well put this in here. See what it comes with. It's not like I got anything better to do today. Whoops. Gosh, guys, there it is. I totally forgot which one's which. Okay, so there's that CPU code. No idea what that is, so we'll just put something in. NVIDIA, I'd have to get the box out or actually look at the CPU, and the CPU's are already in the computer, so it's not going to work. GTX 970, I got one of those. Alright, hard drives, we're going to have one. We don't have any of these other things. Where's our option for an M2? I don't see that, so that's kind of a negative. I don't know if that's going to be that accurate. External drives don't have any. Put that in. Memory. So let's put in our memory. It's DDR4. We're going to have 2 sticks of that. Fans, we'll go ahead and put 5 fans in. Doesn't have a front bay card reader. And except my cookies. Alright, so this is a great thing here. So folks, where is the calculate button at? It's right here. Well, this is kind of a weak website. You can see it barely tells you anything. So there you go, 289. I would not use MSIs, okay? You're going to find yourself very disappointed. Now, unless I missed something, which I don't think I did, this one is going to get you in trouble. I can guarantee you this graphics card will crap out on you on that one. So that's about all I wanted to do, was kind of walk through some of these PSU calculators. You can kind of do some of this stuff on your own, but why not use the tools available? I'm going to say that out of the ones we looked at, the Newegg, if you want to just do something quick, go with that, but then add, you know, at least 10% to it probably. And then the Seasonic, which is probably super accurate, but even with that recommended 444, I would not buy a 450. They show you recommended power supply, and you see that bumps up quite a bit, and 80% efficient. So that's what they're actually recommended. You don't see that on any other of their sites, what they actually recommend. So that is kind of a cool thing. Now, buying a Seasonic, that would be a super expensive power supply. But hey, thanks for checking out the video. Please like, please subscribe.